London's inner city areas aren't generally thought of as idyllic by even the kindest of critics. High-rise flats, the noise and the dirt of industry and areas of decay. It seems to be as far away from paradise as you can get. But residents here are quite happy to keep at least one little piece of Hackney just the way it is. The River Lee and over 80 acres of marshland. It's their little piece of countryside. But now all this marshland is under threat of being dug up. It's the Lee Valley Regional Park Authority who own the site now earmarked for development. Running alongside some of the busiest areas of northeast London, it's part of a 23-mile haven of greenery run by the Park Authority. These marshes are the last to have escaped the bulldozers, but if the authority have their way, they'll soon be a gravel pit to be mined over the next 5 years. After that, the disused pits will be converted into a boating lake and playing fields. Much of the Lee Valley is turned over to providing water for London, but it's also popular with other inhabitants, supporting Britain's second biggest heronry, and many of the birds can be seen flying over the marshland. Nearby, there are boating marinas, sailing and sports grounds, which is why the local people contend that there are already enough recreational facilities. So why, they argue, shouldn't the marshes be left to nature lovers and school children?
The next most important action in front of us is to bring out our publication, our 45 or 40-page publication on the title of which, as you know, is Walthamstow Marsh, Our Countryside Under Threat.
In the local cafe, meetings are held to plan a Save the Marshes campaign.
Aquaplaning, wasn't he, Mike?
And motorboats.
And motorboats.
Skiing and jumping and things.
Apart from the noise, I mean, people of Hackney aren't going to be able to afford it.
The campaigners have already had some success. Over 1,400 people have given their support in a petition to the GLC, and they've recently won over Hackney Council to their side. It's not just the wildlife they're worried about, it's the noise of the lorries and bulldozers, and the safety of children who'll be living close to the gravel works.
So what we've really got here is two different species of reed grasses.
Two of the campaign's key members are people with a special knowledge of what the marsh has to offer. Campaign chairman Mike Knowles and botanist Brian Wurzel, who both live nearby, took me around the marsh, pointing out some of its unique qualities.
There's a few plants here and there, which I recognise. Blackcurrant.
I was going to say, yeah, those are some things that I certainly recognise as well. Let's have a close look. See if I can find a ripe one. What are these things?
This is wild hop, the genuine hop, the one that beer is made out of. And the interesting thing about the plants here is that we have both the male and the female plants. They are quite separate. The male flowers are these rather untidy looking bunches there.
Are those dead?
And yes, just about. They're all dried up now. They've served their purpose to fertilise these. And here are the females already forming the actual fruits, which are the hops themselves. Well, I just spotted that little chap over there, which is the caterpillar of the elephant hawk moth. He's quite an impressive fellow there. He feeds on willow herb.
Where is it? Point to it. This is a willow herb.
He's just there. This is the hairy willow herb. That's not even fully grown. They become quite, you know, quite impressive when they're fully grown, nearly twice that size.
But the real star of the marsh came as somewhat of a surprise. Although it didn't look much to me, it's a new discovery to science.
Yes, indeed. Well, this is a plant of which there may only be just this one example in the entire world. It is a dock, which I found in 1974. And you can see from the rather scruffy appearance of the seeds on it that many of them haven't in fact formed properly. Now this is a sign that it is a hybrid, and most or all of these seeds are probably sterile.
Yeah.
Now if you look at the two parent species of this hybrid, you can see, and I've got another piece of the hybrid, well it doesn't matter, we'll just use these, that the large-leaved species here, which has got a nice big bunch of ripe fruits on it, I mean they're obviously nicely formed. This is called the Greek dock,
Yes.
Which was introduced to this area. If you'd like to just hold that for a moment.
That's
and
a different one.
This one is the native broadleaf dock, which has always been here. It's quite a common species. And these two have hybridised to produce a plant here which is intermediate between them.
The final decision on the fate of these marshes won't be made until the autumn. And it isn't the local authorities who will be making that decision, but the Greater London Council. And in the meantime, the plan to dig up what really is a nature reserve will be bitterly fought all along the way.
There are people on the campaign who have stated that they will stand in front of the bulldozers. It's an area that should not be lost to East London. It is the countryside of East London, and it is silly. It is ridiculous to lose it for the sake of gravel, which is a very temporary gain. Replace that with a motorised sailing lake. Terrible noise. It's just not worth it. This is valuable in itself. It would be a permanent loss to lose it.